We're back. Remember Craig Gass?
Mornings
let me shut up for a second. I forget how to do radio.
Nods to the odd.
Craig Gass in with us. Not of the odd. A dude is a dude's pissed off. Did I turn my? Is that way down? Am I way down?
Oh, I might be lower here.
It sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I'm good.
I have to worry. Craig, I had a stroke on air like 2 years ago, and I always worry that it's happening again.
For real?
It was a ratings bonanza.
It was really good.
We're hoping.
It was
Fingers crossed.
yeah.
Fingers
It's great
crossed.
for
Just
us.
do it on the air. That's all we ask.
It was great for us. Plus, the great thing about it is that since I did it on air, we got credit for doing one of those charity things, you know, and so we didn't have to do an emergency broadcast thing that month because they were like, "Oh, you've helped the community out by teaching
It's
them."
in the file, the public file.
I'll always remember my first radio gig with this guy, Bob Rivers, Twisted Radio up in Seattle. And there was a woman who came in. I can't remember what the loss was. She had suffered some major, major tragedy in her life. And she came in to share the story because it was Christmas time. We raised a bunch of money for her. And I just remember her sobbing hard. She was just breaking down on the air and watching one of the interns slowly push a microphone in front of her mouth so we could catch it. It's like, oh my God.
That's a good insight.
Oh my God.
We had dinner with Bob Rivers in Ireland.
yeah.
Remember? He was on one of those junkets for
did, but-
Jameson. Yeah, he was a great guy, man. He's got some stories.
It's just, but that's the creepy part about the business too, because we for a long time were doing this thing called breaking and entering. You would send us the list of people who are having a really hard year. Because we thought this seemed like okay, yeah, never mind. We're not doing what we're going to do because this is better. I would rather tell stories. I'd rather tell stories. So we did this bit for a long time called breaking and entering. Send us your sob stories. Can't nominate yourself. Family that's down on their luck or whatever. And we were like, oh, this is genius. And then we'll get the person have access to their house. We'll break in their house. We'll
Bring in a tree.
We'll put in a Christmas tree.
Whoa.
Wrap
Gifts
trees
for the kids,
right?
gift cards.
This is going to be
Yeah.
so badass and fun. What we didn't expect, because you think, oh, the stories will be, their car broke down and they've had a hard time.
Off or whatever.
The stories we got, dude.
You open that door, dude. I've done that in a couple cities. And you open that door, and then it just becomes, how do you pick one?
Here's one of them.
Right.
The mother is told she has she has a cancer that if she does not treat immediately, she likely will die. But she's pregnant. In order to do so, she must abort the child.
Oh my God.
She's opted to not abort the child, but will probably pass because of not aborting the child.
Oh my God.
This is in a page-long letter from someone that knows her.
And they're like, she has 2 children, this third on the way, and a father. So that's 5 people total. And we're like, this one's great because we only need to get gifts for 4 of them. One way or another. This is a real, after
like
we
a Sophie's
chose it,
Choice thing.
Yeah, and it was just like, this is, the sick children, the stories you get, it was the worst meeting of the year because they'd be like, all right, sit around, and you're with promotions and a program director, and they're like, all right, guys. And I'm like, we're choosing. I was like, look.
And at the end of the day, all that's at stake is like a $200 Walmart gift card.
Yeah, it's not even a good.
It's not like you're.
It's like, why are you subjecting us to? We have to go to therapy now.
Tracy Morgan has those in his back pocket. I'll take care of whatever you need. You need some floaties or some Pampers? I'll take care of you.
Dude, it would be brutal. And then the thing is that here's how we designed it. We designed it so that we would go do it right after the last broadcast of the year. And then we were like, well, none of us want to sneak into the house because this is kind of brutal. So we would send somebody from promotions and they would decorate the house because we were like, well, we're on vacation now. Yeah. And then you'd come back 3 weeks later and you didn't talk. I was like, wait, we're doing a whole promotion that there's no, because then somebody in promotions was like, can you send like can you record some of these families crying when they see the gifts? Because they were like, they want.
Because there's no payoff
they're
to
like,
this
what's
bit,
the payoff? And they're like, no, we're not.
Because privacy.
Yeah, the reality is that's the content.
Yeah,
that is the
that's
content.
the Good Morning America show.
Except when we realized very quickly that's not the show we are. Like, we're not going to put these people's misery on air for the. And eventually we just had to do away with it because it's not working. It's not working. I'm starting every year's holiday with my kids going, well, I better get a PlayStation. And I'm like, At least you have a mother who didn't die like another mother. By the way, that
you
family,
ungrateful bastard.
that guy wrote us to say thank you, and then said that the mom had passed, and we were like, "This is, I can't."
Whoa! Thank you for the $200 Walmart gift card.
That's the worst.
Can we
part,
do
too.
bikes for kids next year?
Yeah. Can we just give away?
Can we just do? Yeah.
Can we do a kissing Santa, kiss drunk Santa thing? Because this is not. It's very uncomfortable. But radio is also just. When I was thinking about taking this job and it had been offered, I called another guy that I knew in radio. Not you guys. Sorry, Bob, but you were offering the job, and I wasn't quite sure, right? Also, and Greg, you know this, that you know how many guys on the road make fun of morning radio, right?
Which is ridiculous because it's what they make fun of is a rare thing in radio that doesn't really exist.
Well, it is a rare thing. It just happened to be that where my tours would go, I hit all of the stations where I was like, this is miserable.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I called a guy, and he said, because he was in radio, and I asked him, and he goes, here's what I'll tell you. I have a blast. It's the most disgusting business I've ever been attached to, and I used
100%.
And he goes, I used to work at strip clubs. So I mean, it would really,
Yeah, that's about right.
it sets up your discomfort.
Radio is the worst business I've ever been in, and I worked for cocaine dealers.
Bob's came up with it, didn't you? That we're one rung, we're the one rung below stripper.
On the entertainment ladder, yeah. It's Carnival, Barker, DJ, stripper.
So we're above Carnival Barker. We're right in between
below,
Carnival Barker
right.
and stripper.
And I'm talking daytime stripper, too. I like that, like noon.
I'm happily going way off course with you guys on this because in radio, the stories about friends of mine who've been fired in radio are some of the most brutal stories I've ever heard in my life. I remember being in Buffalo for the first time and just hearing about a story from some friends up in Buffalo who said that there used to be a heritage rock station in Buffalo that was around forever, and there were signs posted all over the station. This Friday at 6 p.m., because they close the doors at 5, at 6 p.m. this Friday, mandatory meeting at the Mexican restaurant down the street.
God damn it!
It's always a Mexican
It's always.
restaurant.
I was getting ready to tell a story, and
Every
it's going
time
to be
they
the same
ask
story,
us-
I bet, except without. Okay, sorry, we're interrupting you.
Mexican restaurant down the street.
All right.
Everybody has to be there. All the on-air staff, all the salespeople. It's a mandatory meeting this Friday, 6 p.m. at the Mexican restaurant down the street. 5 p.m., the people who work in the building during the day clock out. They go down to the Mexican restaurant. The owners get in front of everybody, and they said, hey, so we wanted to tell you, I know you guys have been hearing a lot of rumors, and it's true. Starting on Monday, we're going Spanish. Everyone starts laughing.
Because they're at a Mexican
restaurant. You invited us to a Mexican restaurant
Happy
to
hour.
tell us we're going. And nobody believes it. People are pointing at the wait staff
Right.
and going, "Is that our new morning show?"
Right.
Like, they're all laughing. They're having a great time, and then but they don't budge. They go, "No, this is everybody. This is happening." And then someone goes, "So wait a minute. I have a question. So we're all fired? Like we're actually fired? Because if that's true, I have to go back to work." Because I have stuff from my home at my desk. I need to go in the building. And they said, oh, well, we actually took care of that. And people started walking in with boxes. At 5 p.m., when everybody clocked out, there was a team that ran through the building.
Took everything out of all the desks.
Threw all your crap into a box. This is Matt's. This is Bob's. And they threw, and that isn't even the worst. I think the worst story I ever heard, and I shouldn't say the market because it really narrows it down. But
You're telling horror stories to the kids right now.
There's a friend of mine I know who had a morning radio show. It was 6 people in the studio was the cast of this morning show. 6 people, rock radio station. And their contract's coming up, and he goes to the PD like, hey, do you guys want to start talking? They go, we'll get back to you. So he tells his agent, see if you can get another offer. He gets an offer from a competing building in the same city. And he goes to the PD and says, hey, we got an offer, and it's a pay raise for all 6 people. What do you want to do about this? And they said, well, we'll crunch some numbers and we'll get back to you. The last show before Christmas, and by the way, whenever you say last show before Christmas, every radio person knows what's going to happen in the story. Their last show before Christmas, they said, hey, the PD wants to talk to you. So he goes up to her office, and she goes, hey, so we crunched some numbers, and we decided that we're not going to match the offer. And he goes, okay. So we're done? And she goes, but we did match the offer for the other 5 members of the show. And oh God, that was a gut laugh from Matt that I did not expect.
I didn't see it coming.
It just hits so close.
All 5 of his co-hosts all negotiated behind his back, which, by the way, there's a lot more to that story.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I remember telling Bill Burr, comedian Bill Burr, the story about how this guy had become a born-again Christian and would do these unbelievable testimonials on the air every Friday morning. And I'm not a really religious person, and I found those testimonials to be really entertaining. And he was the #1 morning show in that market, despite the fact that on a rock station he was doing testimonials every Friday. And it was really popular. But apparently, once he had this new faith, he started getting really involved in everybody's life,
right,
and telling them how to live their lives. And I remember Bill Burr going like, you know what? I'm starting to change my feelings about this guy. You know, it's like there's a twist in that story that you go, okay, I think I understand a little more. And the 5 remaining cast members had to come back on the Monday of their first day of their Christmas vacation to just do a show to explain, hey, there's more to this story.
Well, it's I can't get too much into it because it's very close to home.
Oh, this is close.
Hey, how about Al Pacino now? Could you do some? Could you do a little Al?
Dude, my first episode of Family Guy, I did Al Pacino.
Okay, I got to hear this because
I get a call from this girl, Linda LaMontagne. She says, "Hey, Craig, my name's Linda. I'm the casting director for Family Guy, American Dad, and at the time, the Cleveland show, and I don't know if you're available, but we'd like to offer you a job working on our shows." When she called me, I was sitting in a Long John Silver's when she called me. I was like, I'm available. I couldn't be more available right now.
Right.
My first episode, I walk in, and it's just me and Seth MacFarlane. We're the only 2 people in the studio. There's another guy running the board, and I see Seth, and it's the first TV show I've ever worked on that I'm excited about. Like, I never watched King of Queens before I was on it. I never watched Sex and the City before I was on it. But Family Guy, American Dad, these are shows that I'm
they're in your wheelhouse. They're your fans.
And so I'm excited. Matt, you ever meet someone and just overshoot? Do you ever get too excited to people?
When I met Bob.
Yeah, that was
yes, and also my wife. I tend to just shut down. I tend to completely shut down. If I'm an actual fan, because I think probably when I was younger, I did the way where I was like, I'm going to tell you all of the stories right now.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
because I may not get this opportunity again.
My excitement was palpable, and I noticed, and I didn't realize I was doing it, but Seth kept calming me down. Every time he'd make a joke, I'd go, and he'd go, relax, dude. And I go, oh, all right. And then we go in the studio, and he goes, it's going to be quick. He goes, we got a bunch of people today. He goes, you just got the one line. Let's just do this. And Seth kept doing one line as Peter Griffin, where he kept saying, this is crazier than when Al Pacino was a slumlord laundromat tenant. And then they cut to me as Al Pacino, surrounded by a bunch of broken down washers and dryers, going, you're out of order. And you're out of order. And you're all out of order. And we do that 3 times. And Seth MacFarlane goes, all right, man, I think we're good. And I'm so nervous because I believe in my mind we're going to be friends now.
Right.
Because we're hanging out together. So I grab my stuff and I go, hey, so you want to hang out? And he goes, what do you mean hang out? And I go, you want to grab?
You want to go to a Mexican food restaurant?
I go, you want to grab a coffee or something? And he goes, I got to work. And I said, all right. You want me to leave? And he goes, yeah, get the hell out of here. And I'm sorry.
I don't know if you know this, but I have a top-rated show that I have to produce. I write it, I voice it, I produce it, all that stuff. So and direct it. So it's been fun, Craig.
But goodbye. I walk out. I don't hear from them again for 6 months. Linda was so excited about having me work on the show. She doesn't call me again. And then after 6 months, she goes, hey, Craig, it's Linda. Can you do this voice or this voice or this? I go, I can do whatever you want.
Right.
And every time I've come back to do another episode of Family Guy or American Dad, Seth MacFarlane's never around. It's always a guy named Mike Henry who does the voice of Cleveland and the creepy guy. And every time I see Mike, I'll go, "Hey, Mike, is Seth around?" And every time I see him, he goes, "Don't worry about Seth. We'll get you out of here real quick. We'll get you out of here really quick."
Out.
Yeah, dude. I overdid it. By the way, we're going way off course. The show that I'm doing on Saturday night at Roscoe's is all Kiss. I'm making fun of Kiss for an entire hour. And we'll get back to that, but I just want you to know, if you come out to the show on Saturday at Roscoe's, and obviously you can go to Roscoe's website or getgas.com.
And who knows who might show up?
Oh,
we don't know.
It's a Saturday night. The band has a day off,
and
they will be in Austin on Saturday. So
else are they gonna
Roscoe's,
do?
getgas.com.
We have some super Kiss fans. I know they're going to come out and see you. Getgas.com. Remember,
Get Gas with 2 S's.
Craig's last name has those 2 S's. We're coming